Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to another episode of Football Moshla, and we are back with FPL content. And today's episode is all about the Game Week 25 double game week. And I'm your host, Qazi Adil. I have with me
Fardan Ahmed.
the best scientist that FPL has ever seen. So now,
Somebody dies every time you say that because of my performance from last week. I did
nah,
not
no.
play any chips or anything. I trusted my gut, which the bowel syndrome was happening, and my gut just let me away. I'm behind so much. My overall ranking also fell by about 40,000.
Well, that's fine. It's slow and steady. It was sometimes wins the race. That's how I can give you. তোমাকে আমি এটা বলে শান্তনু দিতে পারি. In your mini league, you are climbing you're coming closer to me than you're more
Yes,
towards the top,
yes.
which is good. I'm a number 10. You can give me and Mukit a competition as in the number 9 and 10 area. Usually
We're
play you made a progression from number 1. Who is number 1 is a goalkeeper. And then from
okay.
number 1 to you are getting promoted to number 10. So
I think
that's
number 10, you're doing really good as a number 10.
I am in my
But
league of my own. Nobody is like whoever is in front of me is not within my reach. Whoever is behind me is not within my reach.
I think the
So
FPL universe has caught on to like how like partnership of podcasts. They're like, you know what, let's bring them together. And then let's not keep that much of a gap in the mini league. So yeah, mini league I have fallen down because I did not play any chips. I didn't do any transfer. I stuck to my Game Week 23 team with some minor tweaks here and there.
let's start with that. Why didn't you play any chips, any chip or chips for this game week, the last game week 24, especially when assistant manager chip was available? So I guess that's where we should start. Fardan, you're the scientist. Give
No, no,
us
no.
your scientific
We have to,
explanation.
for the rest of this season of FPL, you cannot mention that word because my judgment calls have been all wrong this season, especially with the Haaland triple captain I played in Game Week 9. Well, you can call it bad luck, but it's still, I should have saved for a double game week, just like my last two seasons. It was a very bad judgment call and an impulsive call that I did. But anyways, I did not play chip because I don't like playing a chip when majority of the FPL community is playing a chip. So I saw in the millions or in the thousands were playing people were playing triple captain or assistant manager. So mathematically speaking, even if I played assistant manager, I would have had a maximum of 15 to 20 points in my head. That was my calculation. Also, this is the debut chip in the FPL world, assistant manager, which we never had before. So I
Mhm.
really wanted to see for myself how others do before I caught on to it. So these two reasons why I did not play a chip this week.
Oh, okay. So there's still a opportunity for you to play it. We don't know when you're gonna, because technically nobody knows until the deadline passes, and then we will know if he has played a chip or he had played any chips.
The problem is that whatever I discuss with you or anyone, like, hey, Keltaso, Chip, are you gonna play chip this week? And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'll play. But as soon as the deadline approaches, for example, tomorrow it's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Right now we're at almost midnight recording this. But as
Yeah,
we get closer to that deadline time, I keep making rash decisions, and I don't know, because of that rash decision, I might get Rashford also, and I don't know.
I think you should get Rashford also because why live since you cannot be first anymore in the mini league,
Yeah,
and also definitely you cannot be first in FPL anymore.
absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah.
so might as well just live life on the edge. You know, come
Yeah,
to the dark side.
yeah. In terms of our mini league, there is no the fact that a lot of people did not play triple captain yet. I am far from finishing top three. I will fight with fifth and sixth position just to hold on to top five. So I'll have to just go with the average. If I can score average, I'll stick to whatever. But all those people under me, whoever they activate the chips, they're gonna surpass me in a matter of seconds. So
Sir,
because in FPL, as we saw in the Everton game, that Tarkowski header in the 95th or 96th minute changed
yeah,
everything.
kick,
Not,
header na kick.
oh, I'm sorry, kick.
Kick. Header
So
hole to Van Dijk
that's
was
how
would have.
traumatized I was when that went in because that 2-1 would have worked a little bit for me. in terms of my mini league and
Hmm.
my global rank as well. But that shook up the rankings to a lot of FPL content creators across the world. They also lost their rankings when because a majority of content creators went for Slot as the assistant manager. But whoever did Moyes did very good.
Well, I mean, hats off to those people who have like they have
Definitely, yeah,
picked Moyes because they have seen Manchester United very closely when Moyes took over. Uh, they just applied that 15 years later, I guess, 10 years later. Yeah, so I think they are a fan of Moyes, which they were never. They all but now I see that a lot of Moyes fans out there.
for
I
sure.
want I wanted to slot in with Slot and Moyes, David Moyes, beat me this time, which was expected. Now the question is, there's another double game week coming up.
Mm.
Assistant manager chip can be played. There's a guy called Unai Emery. Aston Villa has a double game week. So should people switch? Let's say the ones that have slot, should they switch to Unai Emery because he's playing home to Ipswich, away to Liverpool, or home to Liverpool?
Yeah, he's the popular pick this week.
Uh, yeah.
Whoever had Slot this week, they
Oh,
all
he's
felt like
home to Liverpool. Sorry, home to Liverpool, home to Ipswich. So
yes, both are home fixtures.
slot to Emery or slot can stay because I mean, okay. Here's my. I mean, I'm gonna disclose this.
Yeah.
I give away all my secrets, and you guys are all welcome. Uh, I,
What
I'm
did you
s-
do?
I'm sticking with slot,
Hold
and
on, hold on. Did you play a chip last week?
yeah, I did play.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm the pioneer of the assistant manager chip. I've been saying since the beginning that I'm gonna play it as soon as it's available. I'm the guinea pig, and then everybody started playing the assistant manager chip, and then some of them looked at the data and they became Moist fans, and they played the Moist chip. A lot of FPL content creators as well.
Yeah.
Now they're looking into Emery. I fancy Slot still. That's my take on it. But Slot might lose to Aston Villa or might draw. But cumulatively, I think Slot will be a better choice. I pick Slot. I'm going to stick with him.
Unai Emery, we don't know. We saw him in action. Rashford and Asensio, the two hot transfers that Aston Villa did,
Hmm.
they came in to play in the EFL, I believe, against Spurs. So Asensio looked very good. Rashford did not look out of place. He looked like he was doing good. So for sure, we know that they're gonna probably start these matches. Now, these are differential picks because people are gonna go heavy on Aston Villa midfield. But I think what I want to focus on this podcast is again, don't get derailed by double game week players. We saw that a little bit when we saw a lot of people benching Chris Wood, who came up with a hat trick, a huge 17 points.
Uh, Chris Wood is beyond my reach right now because everyone is picking
So
Chris Wood.
imagine this: Chris Wood 17 points in one game,
Yeah.
whereas Gakpo, who was destined to score so much in those two matches, did not. So my prediction, another reason why I did not play the chip was because it was Bournemouth and Everton, all both were away. So in my mind, I'm like, those are tricky fixtures. But Salah came in with the clutch so many times. There was a penalty, and obviously, I think that our friend Shihan, also said that they're riding on the champions' luck. A lot of things are working in their favor. Even the rebound goal that Salah
Mm,
scored fell right on his feet.
mm.
As a if anybody did not captain Salah, they were praying that nothing like this happens. But it did happen, and we have seen throughout the season, whoever did not captain Salah, they got punished heavily.
Mm.
So even if somebody goes for a Aston Villa differential captain, they are already scared about Salah, right? Because Aston Villa, because of this new rebirth that they're doing with the new transfers, we don't really know how they're going to do. And suddenly against Ipswich, who are known to press for the first half, second half they get tired, and they have the third or second worst defense in the Premier League right now. So we are hoping Aston Villa might capitalize on that.
So let me just tell you about Ipswich. After they played Manchester United, they stopped pressing. That was the only game they pressed, and I think that they stopped pressing. They only pressed Manchester United. Another thing about this about captains is since we are on the topic of it, um, anybody dares to captain Rashford?
I think it has to be a true Rashford fan to do something like that. But it's not a bad shout at all. Look at it. Ipswich, it's a home fixture. And then they go on to play Liverpool also at home. And Aston Villa, with this new, whatever performance they do against Ipswich, Emery or Slot, they're going to have a, like almost like a, what do you call that? A Magneto-ish thing where they will try to guess each other's tactics. But Liverpool, I feel like there is some kind of dip in their form. I know losing to Plymouth, even though they played with like a C team against
Yeah,
Plymouth,
that was Cunningham FC right
something like
there.
that, something like
Yeah,
that. But I feel like Slot. I was very angry because I kept on saying Liverpool will do the treble this year, and I felt like they didn't give any effort. So I was kind of mad at Slot. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but as a football fan, I was hoping Liverpool might go for the treble. Anyways, I don't want to
they can still
digress.
go for the treble. Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup. Oh, they are out of the FA Cup. Sorry.
Exactly. So that's why
So
I said
League
that
Cup or League Cup? League Cup.
I'm not sure if League Cup counts towards treble.
Oh yeah, it does.
Then okay, they're in the they're playing the final against Newcastle.
Yeah, they're winning
So
that.
pretty we I at this point I can't say anything because
Uh,
against Everton, even though they attacked and all that and everything, they didn't look promising as much. And I think that's why data wise people are going towards Unai Emery. They feel like he's gonna blow away Ipswich and might cause an upset against Liverpool, who also sit or five more than five spaces above Aston Villa. So that bonus is very enticing. So
uh,
whoever had Moyes want to go for Unai Emery, it makes sense. I am still considering should I activate assistant managership or not, but I don't know. I'm having two minds about it.
I
I still
dare.
want to understand the chip. I still don't understand the chip as much. I
Af-
can't predict.
এতদিন এত কিছু হয়ে গেছে after this you আর কিছু তোমার বোঝার নাই ঠিক আছে you're not gonna understand this anymore so so I dare you to start the assistant manager to play it with Ruben Amorim. I dare you.
He doesn't
Ru-
have a double or a good
who
fixture coming up.
who cares? Tottenham versus Manchester United.
Okay, okay. Let's talk about what I talked about before. A single game week player who might outscore your double game week player. So there's a bunch of people who you can consider. And we have, since you brought on this red team from
Mm.
Manchester, we have to talk about Bruno Fernandes and Amad Diallo. These are heavy differential picks against Spurs, who are terrible at home this season.
Mm.
Okay, any Cunningham FC will blast them away, even if they play in North London. And in
Who's
my
gonna
think
score
so.
more? You think I'm gonna score in that fixture?
For sure, yes.
For sure, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Against Tottenham's defense, right?
You, Qazi bhai, Shihan, Kanchan bhai, everybody.
Mukit. Don't forget my partner in
Mukid
crime.
assist.
Assist, right wing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
give an assist. Jokes apart, yeah, I think Mukid can score. So yeah, look at these fixtures. Arsenal, Bournemouth, Chelsea are playing Brighton away. Brighton are also not doing that good. So these are the teams that I want to focus on today. There's so much data, so much articles about the double gaming players. I don't want it. It seems repetitive,
Mm.
totally repetitive. Everybody's talking about Morgan Rogers and the Salas and the Gakpos, but we have to talk about these players. Even though Arsenal got hit because of that
Kai
huge
Havertz injury.
yes, Kai
Yeah.
Havertz is injured. So there's so much spotlight on Waneri,
Wanieri.
Wanieri. So there's
No,
Wanieri,
Waneri.
one
And Trossard. So it's gonna be either
Wanieri
Trossard.
Trossard, yeah.
I don't think Sterling's gonna play. There's a rumor that Marino will be played as a false nine
Which
with
is not bad.
Trossard and like kind of like a Havertz role. So Waneri and Trossard occupying the flanks, and Marino
As far
making the
as
runs.
FPL is concerned, Waneri and Trossard, I think people can look into. Jackson can come back into the forte for 1 week punt. I think if anybody wants to have fun with it, because against
Jackson
Brighton,
is injured. He's out until April.
when did that happen?
That happened this morning. I heard that news. Jackson is
Wow.
out. Jackson is not in.
Okay, then it
So
has
we
to
have a
be
striker crisis.
in
Let me just
Chelsea.
tell you this. Not just Chelsea, because if you look at, there's a blank game week coming up and game week 29.
Hmm.
There is a striker crisis in that. Because if Ole Watkins is not available by then, because I think it doesn't matter, because Aston Villa and Liverpool and Crystal Palace have a blank. game week, and Newcastle.
Do we have any news about Ollie Watkins? Is he available for tomorrow or this weekend?
No, no, I don't know. I haven't.
Okay.
There's no news.
Hmm.
But Aston Villa, Newcastle assets, Aston Villa assets. We're going farther away from game week 25 to game week 29. But keep this in mind that there's a blank coming for Isaac owners, Watkins owners, Salah owners, and Mateta owners.
Yep,
Crystal,
all
Crystal,
four.
Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Liverpool.
Yeah, so
So
all
wild
these
card,
teams, yeah.
yeah, wild card or free hit in that free hit if you have it.
Wildcard, I don't think anybody's going to play on 29. But 29 free hit will be really popular. You will
Uh,
not have Liverpool, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Crystal Palace. So yeah, many of the key players in FPL will be missing. So at that time, you can finally captain your Bruno and Ahmad Diallo for sure. I don't know who they're playing. Manchester United on game week 29. They're playing Leicester away. So
Vardy is my captain. No, just kidding.
yeah, yeah. It's totally doable.
Vardy scores
Party
against
captain or
Manchester United all the time.
all those players, it's totally fine. But the fact is 29 is such a tricky week because if you look at the best fixture, it's Bournemouth playing Brentford at home, United playing Leicester, Nottingham Forest playing Ipswich, Southampton playing Wolves. So if anybody free hits, these players from these teams are going to be popular.
All right. Back to game week 25. Um, we are looking at now differentials,
Yeah.
right? But before that, what are your picks for the double game week from Aston Villa and Liverpool?
Liverpool, Gakpo, a lot of people say he was unlucky this week to not score, but I don't think he was unlucky. I think that Bournemouth, Everton are known to, you know, do good defensively. So Gakpo, if anybody wants to hold on to, they still can because it's a double game week. And when double game week comes, people forget everything and just focus on those two teams. They load up on Liverpool, Aston Villa, and I know people will do that. But if I had to pick, Salah is an obvious lock, captaincy lock, whatever you want to call it. Morgan Rogers is a lock. Other than that, based on how many goals Liverpool have leaked and everything else, I don't know. I don't. They might even get Wolves might even score against Liverpool.
Huh?
So yeah, uh,
Really?
trust me, these guys can.
Cunha?
These guys can. Yeah, I'm telling you, these guys can concede a goal from any situation.
Nah.
They will win. They will clutch. They will draw. They will be champions. But we remember Man City from maybe last season. They kept on leaking goals. So
I don't think it's going to be hard for Wolves to score because Van Dijk and Konate, it's size difference unless Acuna runs in behind. So that's I don't think that's a possibility. But you never know if they're tired and whatnot. Um, so any differential pick from defense?
defense. So one of those weeks where people will go for Trent. Differential wise, not Arsenal, not who. I don't know who you want to pick. People are holding on to Robinson. People are holding on to. I see a lot of Everton defenders in the teams, so Everton can still do a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. Maybe I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be hard for our match. But yeah, Chelsea's keeper. You wanna give that news?
Yeah. So Maresca has confirmed that Jorgensen is going to be the starting keeper from now on until he decides that Robert Sanchez is back in form. So Sanchez will be dropped. Jorgensen is going to be the starting keeper. He actually used to play for Villarreal. He was a number one for one season or a couple of seasons for Villarreal.
Hmm.
And then they bought him Chelsea to be the number one, and then he couldn't compete with Sanchez. Now he has his chance. So whoever are Sanchez owners might as well just look for a keeper this week or going forward. So yeah, goalkeeper. I think still the best bet is what Sells and Raya. Raya this time because they're playing Leicester.
Yeah, the Arsenal defense is popular this week. I think Nottingham Forest
Yeah.
playing away to Fulham, who are known to somehow scoop in one goal with Raul Jimenez or like Pereira, all those people. So But no, I don't know. It's FPL has become really tricky to predict. Anybody can get a clean sheet. Anybody can score. So that's why like I my brain got a fog this past week. A lot of things happen outside my thing, so I can't even predict anymore. The gut feeling which I used to ride on, that also came opposite of what I predicted. So right now I have to go with the flow and try to score above average. And that's my advice to everybody. If you get your head too much into double game week or like a blank game week, you will not be able to focus. I think the goal right now is to score above average, even if it's 2 points above average.
Bournemouth assets.
Bournemouth assets has to be Clivert, no?
I think
Semenyo.
Semenyo, and then also Dango.
Yeah,
That's my pick.
Dango, Semenyo, Clivert. Now the problem is, how many slots do you have? All are put in as midfielders in the game, so you have to you can distribute your funds among forward and midfield.
See, that is the problem. Also, this is a good topic to talk and wrap it up before, I mean, all this stuff.
Yeah, sure.
The double game week has Malen, Rashford, Watkins, and Asensio, right?
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, yes. And then they have, on the other hand, you have Gakpo, you have Isaac, but Gakpo is playing as a midfielder. He's a forward in FPL, and the all the other mentions, the Malins, no, the Malen, Rashford, Asensio are actually midfielders in FPL. But Aston Villa can play them as striker. Probably Malen will start as a striker if Watkins is not starting. So if you wanted to, let's say, replace Ndai, who got injured, with Malen, you couldn't. I thought about it. I wanted to. Instead of going for the Rogers, I wanted to go with Malen because he had a higher chance of scoring goals because he's going to play as a striker, or maybe Rashford even. But I cannot. So in the midfield, you have uh, all these players, and then who you going to drop to play them? And then in striker, you have, if you don't have a Wood right now, you're you're out of luck technically because Gakpo is a hit or miss this time, and then Isaac against Manchester City, maybe he can sneak in a goal, but apart from that, who
And the
knows?
thing
So
about Isak is that he's on penalties. So even if Man City, gives away a penalty, Isak will be there. Isak is very likely to convert unless Ederson, who's not known to save penalties, pulls off something like that. So yeah, good mention of Isak. We didn't mention him that much. But Gakpo, I think people will load up on him a lot this week. Since people are moving to Emery, they will want Gakpo in their team.
okay, so I guess we'll see. So double game week, assistant manager chip. We don't know. We're not sure if Fardan's gonna play it. I'm sticking with slot. Um, I will have a striker crisis after this game week.
For sure, yes. And we can talk about it in the Game Week 26 preview.
Game week 26 will be only normal stuff. We're gonna have a striker shortage because we have to think about whoever, like people like me who have no chips available left. We'll have to think about rolling the transfers for game week 29.
And that's going to
So
be a first for you,
that's gonna be first. Maybe what, through all 2-3 transfers,
at
unless
least.
I start planning it out after this game week. We'll see how this goes.
For sure, for sure.
But yeah, so that's basically it. So double game week. Hope everyone plays the assistant manager chip. Unai Emery versus Arne Slot. David Moyes came out against Arne Slot. I think he was ahead with what, 2 points more than Slot or something like that.
No, at least 5 or 8 points.
I don't know. I don't think so. We'll see. I don't know. Who cares? But if Slot beats Unai Emery, then cumulatively Slot will get back-to-back double game week points.
Yep, for sure.
So we'll see. Anything else for then, or are we gonna just wrap it up? This
We can
is.
wrap it up. We spoke about captains, we spoke about differentials, and we spoke about who you fancy and I fancy, and my failures last week.
I'm just gonna give away my secret before wrapping up.
Sure.
So those who have actually listened to it till the end, they will only know. And that is Waneri should be in your team, regardless of double game week or not.
Boom. Boom.
All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching and listening, and we will see you guys in the next episode. And until then, this is Qazi Adil signing out alongside our special scientist.
Fardan Ahmed signing out. See you next week.
Take care. Bye.